My name is Adam Hassan. I am 18 years old. And today, I found out my father was murdered by the man I was taught to call Uncle. They say you can't miss what you never had. But that's a lie told by people who grew up with everything. I've missed my father every day of my life. Missed him in the empty space at dinner tables. Missed him in the stories Mama would tell with tears in her eyes. Missed him in the mirror, where I see his face staring back at me. His eyes, his jawline, his expression when I'm angry or determined. For 18 years, Mama has been running, teaching me languages in shadowy apartments, training me to fight in abandoned warehouses, moving us every few months across West Africa like we're ghosts haunting the places where my father died. She told me we were hiding from bad people, that my father was a hero, that someday when I was ready, I'd understand. Today I understand. Today I found the files she's been hiding, the evidence, the testimony, the truth about how France armed terrorists while my father fought them, how they murdered him when he became too effective, how my mother, Agent Sophie Dubois, though that's not her real name either, spent 5 years gathering proof before testifying and disappearing. But there's one thing Mama didn't tell me, one name she kept hidden even in her most detailed files. The man who placed the grenade that killed my father, Lieutenant Bashir Okoro, now General Bashir Okoro, Deputy Chief of Army Staff in Abuja. The man who murdered the King of War. The man who calls himself my father's brother in arms at official ceremonies. The man who got rich and powerful off my father's blood. I'm holding Mama's encrypted phone right now, reading messages she doesn't know I can access. She's meeting someone in 3 hours. Someone who can get me into military intelligence training. She's trying to protect me by creating a normal future. But I don't want normal. I want justice. And I'm going to get it, even if it destroys me. The files were hidden in a false bottom of Mama's tactical bag, the one she never lets out of her sight. I only found them because she's sick, really sick, something she picked up in the markets, some fever that's had her delirious for 2 days. We're in a small compound outside Maiduguri, Nigeria, close enough to where my father died that I can feel his ghost in the air. Mama has been treating herself with local herbs bought from a woman who asks no questions. Because hospitals mean documentation, and documentation means they can find us. I've been caring for her, wiping her forehead, forcing fluids, crushing the bitter herbs into tea. And when she finally fell into a deep sleep this morning, I went looking for her backup medication stash. That's when I found them. USB drives, encrypted files, photographs, bank statements, audio recordings, my inheritance, my truth. My war. I spent 6 hours going through everything. The USB drives were encrypted, but Mama taught me too well. The password was my father's service number combined with my birth date. She wanted me to find this eventually, just not yet. Not at 18. Not before she thought I was ready. There's a photograph I can't stop staring at. My father and Lieutenant Okoro, arms around each other's shoulders, smiling at the camera. The date stamp says December 2017, 1 month before my father died. 1 month before the brother he trusted murdered him for a promotion. The rage that fills me is cold, calculated. I understand now why Mama has been training me like a soldier instead of raising me like a normal child. Why she taught me Hausa, French, Arabic, and English. Why she made me study military tactics and geopolitical strategy. Why she wakes up screaming some nights. She's been preparing me for this. For the war that started before I was born. When Mama wakes up that evening, clearer but still weak, she finds me sitting at our small table. The files are laid out in front of me. I've organized them chronologically. I've read every document, memorized every name. She goes very still. Her face, pale from fever, goes even paler. Adam. Her voice is hoarse. You weren't supposed to. I know. I cut her off. I wasn't supposed to find these for another 5 years. Maybe 10. When you thought I was ready. You're not ready. She tries to stand, stumbles. Catch her, help her to a chair. Even sick, her grip is strong. I'm ready enough. I sit across from her. General Bashir Okoro. That's his name, isn't it? The one you kept redacted in every file. The one who killed Papa. She closes her eyes. A tear escapes. Yes. And you know where he is. What he's doing. How to reach him. Adam, don't. I'm not asking for permission, Mama. My voice is harder than I've ever used with her. I'm telling you what I'm going to do. I'm going to find him. I'm going to infiltrate military intelligence. And I'm going to destroy everyone who profited from Papa's death. She looks at me with an expression I've never seen before. Pride and terror mixed together. If you do this, she whispers, you become what they are. You enter their world. You might never come out. Then that's the price, I tell her. Papa paid with his life. You paid with your freedom. Now it's my turn to pay something. She's quiet for a long time. Then, there's someone I need to call. Someone who's been waiting 18 years for this conversation. The man who arrives 3 days later is someone I've never seen but somehow recognize. He's in his 50s, Nigerian, with the bearing of a career military officer and eyes that have seen too much. Colonel Adeyemi. Mama introduces him. He served with your father. He was one of the few who knew Marcus didn't die in an accident. I tried to investigate. Colonel Adeyemi tells me, his voice heavy with old grief. Got shut down from above. Threatened with court-martial if I didn't let it go. So I waited, watched, gathered my own evidence. Waited for the right moment. And I'm the moment? Asked. You're your father's son. That makes you dangerous to them. It also makes you valuable. He pulls out a folder. There's a recruitment drive for military intelligence. Young men with language skills, tactical aptitude, clean backgrounds. You fit the profile. Except I don't have a clean background. I don't officially exist. Mama speaks up. We can fix that. I still have contacts. People who owe me favors. We can create a legend. A backstory that will hold up to scrutiny. For the next 3 months, they transform me. Colonel Adeyemi trains me in military protocol, weapons systems, counterintelligence techniques. Mama teaches me how to lie convincingly, how to spot surveillance, how to be someone else so completely that I forget myself. They create Adam Musa, orphan raised by his uncle in Jos. University educated, fluent in multiple languages, passionate about serving Nigeria, perfect candidate. But the night before my recruitment interview, everything nearly falls apart. I'm poisoned. His name was Ibrahim. I thought he was a friend, one of the few I'd made during our time in Maiduguri. We'd played football together, shared meals. He knew I was leaving for military service and wanted to celebrate. The tea he brought tasted slightly bitter, but I attributed that to cheap leaves. 20 minutes later, I was on the floor, convulsing, my body shutting down. Ibrahim stood over me, his expression apologetic. I'm sorry, Adam, but they're paying my family's debts. I don't have a choice. Who? I managed to gasp. People in Abuja. They've been watching your mother. They know she's back in Nigeria. They're cleaning up loose ends. He knelt beside me. It's nothing personal. Just business. Then Mama was there, moving like the operative she used to be. Ibrahim didn't even see her coming. One moment he was standing, the next he was unconscious on the floor. Mama checking his pockets for the poison vial. Aconitum, she identified. Her voice clinical even as fear blazed in her eyes. Monkshood. Fast-acting. Fatal without treatment. Hospital, I gasped. Black spots were dancing in my vision. No hospital. They'll be watching. She was already pulling out her emergency kit. They want documentation. Want to confirm the kill. We give them nothing. For the next 4 hours, I died and came back. Died and came back. Mama forced herbs down my throat. bitter compounds she'd learned from traditional healers during our years running. Drew out the poison with methods that were older than Western medicine. I vomited blood, hallucinated, saw my father standing in the corner of our safe house, watching with sad eyes. "Not yet," Mama kept whispering. "You don't get to leave me yet. You don't get to die before you finish what we started." Dawn came. I was still breathing. Ibrahim woke up tied to a chair. Mama interrogated him with quiet efficiency. No rage, no emotion, just extraction of information. "General Okoro?" she asked. "No, someone higher, someone in Paris. They said the woman and her son were loose ends from an old operation." Mama and I exchanged glances. The conspiracy was still active, still trying to bury the past. Colonel Adeyemi arrived to clean up the situation. Ibrahim disappeared. I didn't ask where. Some things were better unknown. "They know you're coming," the colonel told me while I recovered. "That means we accelerate the timeline. You go in damaged, they'll underestimate you. That's an advantage." 2 weeks later, still weak but functional, I walked into military intelligence recruitment in Abuja. My legend held. Adam Musa passed every background check, every interview, every psychological evaluation. They accepted me into training. And that's when the real war began. Basic training was brutal, designed to break men and rebuild them as intelligence operatives. I excelled, not because I was naturally talented, but because I'd been training for this my entire life without knowing it. I met others like me, young men from across Nigeria, each carrying their own reasons for being there. Some wanted glory. Others wanted revenge for families lost to terrorism. A few, I suspected, were plants like me. One of them, a Fulani recruit named Yusuf, pulled me aside during our 3rd week. "You're not really Adam Musa," he whispered. "I can tell. You move like someone who learned this elsewhere. Who are you really?" I considered lying, then looked into his eyes and saw something I recognized. Grief, loss, rage hidden beneath competence. "My father was murdered by corruption in this system," I told him quietly. "I'm here to burn it down from the inside." "Good," Yusuf said. "So am I." My uncle was an honest officer, discovered arms trafficking through military channels. They made his suicide look like depression. He extended his hand. "You'll need allies." I volunteer. That was how the network began. Me and Yusuf, then others carefully vetted, slowly recruited. Young men and women who'd lost family to the machinery of corruption, who'd watched good people die while criminals prospered. We were becoming exactly what they'd created us to fight. A conspiracy within the system. A shadow network dedicated to exposing shadow networks. 6 months into training, I learned that General Bashir Okoro himself would be visiting to address the new recruits, to inspire us with stories of his service, to lie about my father while looking us in the eyes. Mama's voice in my head: "Don't let rage make you stupid. Wait for the right moment. One chance is all you get." But when I saw him, standing on that stage in his decorated uniform, telling stories about serving alongside heroes like Major Marcus Hassan, describing my father's death as a tragic accident, the rage was nuclear. I stood at attention with the other recruits and planned murder in my heart. After the ceremony, General Okoro walked among the recruits, shaking hands, asking questions, playing the role of mentor and leader. When he reached me, he extended his hand. "And what's your name, soldier?" I looked into the eyes of the man who murdered my father, shook his hand. "Adam Musa, sir. It's an honor." "Where are you from, Adam?" "Jos, sir. But my family has roots in Kaduna." Something flickered in his expression. Brief, barely noticeable. "Kaduna. Good people there. I served with several officers from Kaduna. Fine soldiers. My uncle told me stories, sir, about heroes like Major Marcus Hassan." His face didn't change, but his grip on my hand tightened slightly. "The king of war. Yes, a tragedy what happened to him. A reminder that war takes even the best of us." "Yes, sir." I held his gaze. "I want to be like him, to serve with honor." "Then serve well, Adam Musa. Nigeria needs men like you." He moved on. But I saw Colonel Adeyemi in the crowd watching, and I knew. The general suspected something. Not specifically me, but something. The old paranoia that keeps criminals alive. That night, Mama called on our encrypted line. "He knows," I told her. "Then we move faster than planned," she replied. "I'm activating other assets. People I've been cultivating for years. You're not doing this alone anymore, Adam. This is bigger than revenge now." "What do you mean?" "I mean," her voice was fierce. "We're not just taking down one corrupt general. We're exposing the entire network. From Abuja to Paris. Every arms dealer, every intelligence handler, every politician who profited from your father's death and the deaths of thousands like him. And when we're done," she continued, "the system that killed your father won't just be damaged. It'll be destroyed, even if it costs everything we have left." "I'm ready," I told her. "No one's ever ready for what comes next," she said softly. "But you're your father's son. That'll have to be enough." 3 months later, I'm no longer a recruit. I'm an intelligence operative with security clearance, working in the same department that once covered up my father's murder. I've identified 17 officers involved in the corruption network, built relationships with 6 who might be turned, gathered evidence that links General Okoro to ongoing arms trafficking. But something's changed. Someone else is moving pieces on the board. Classified files are disappearing. Officers connected to the old conspiracy are dying in accidents that look too convenient. Someone with access and motivation is conducting their own operation. Then the message arrives on our encrypted network. The prince isn't alone. The Ghost Mother has returned. Operation Ghost Protocol is active. Trust no one except each other. They're coming for all of us. Mama, she's done hiding, done running, and whatever she's planned, it's big enough to shake everything we've built. I look at Yusuf across our operations room. He nods. We're ready for whatever comes next. My father was the king of war. My mother is a ghost who refuses to die. And me? I'm the prince who's learned that sometimes, to save the kingdom, you have to burn the throne. The war isn't ending. It's just beginning. To be continued in Ghost Protocol.